Hey guys, okay, so I want to go over your industrialization graphic organizer with you guys. Let's click on share screen. All right, this is an assignment that we did last week, and not a lot of people have turned it in. So I want to make sure you guys know what you are doing with it. All right, you have two industrialization assignments to do. You have this graphic organizer, and then you have the cause and effect document. Don't worry about this portion of it for the cause and effect document. Just do the entire document yourself, because whenever we tried to share it with one another, it did not work the way it was supposed to work. So do this document by yourself. Complete the entire thing. If you want to work with a partner, that's cool, but you have to turn in two separate documents. Okay, here is the Industrial Revolution, the page that we had last week, right? So if we scroll down, there are two videos. You guys do need to watch those videos. God, just going so slow. Okay, this is our labor assignment that we're doing. Okay, here is your industrialization graphic organizer. I should have just clicked the view bit. Oh. Here we go. That's not it. I need Jeopardy music like to play in the background. Okay, you definitely want to enable editing. Okay, so our objective is to answer this particular question. How did technology, natural resources, and transportation support the growth of industrialization in America between 1870 and 1910? So what you're going to do, you're going to review the graphic organizer. Y'all, my mouse is going crazy. Okay. Review the graphic organizers on the attached pages. When you're done, within the spaces provided in the graphic organizer, explain how natural resources, transportation, and technology supported the post-Civil War Industrial Revolution in the United States. So what you're going to do to start off with, you make two claims for how each natural resources, two claims, transportation, two claims, and technology, two claims. How did they support the post-Civil War Industrial Revolution? And then you're going to support each claim with examples from the graphic organizers. So down here, if you are looking at transportation, let's go all the way down here. Here's natural resources. There is technology, and there is transportation. So we will look at the Transcontinental Railroad. There are three different things here that you can pick from. Basically, what you're doing is you're going to choose two of these to say how they changed or how they helped the Industrial Revolution progress. So, Transcontinental Railroad was a series of railroad tracks. The tracks allowed California, Texas, and Washington states to be connected with the factories and large cities on the eastern coast. As the United States grew in size and population, the Transcontinental Railroad provided quick transportation from the east to the west coast. A journey that used to take many months now took 1 week. That's the description. Okay, here's the impact on the Industrial Revolution. This allowed for expansion of farmland available due to railroad being able to get goods to the market in a reasonable time. It also led to the creation of time zones so travel would be uniform, adopted by Congress in 1918. It influenced business and industry because of the need for natural resources, including iron, coal, steel, lumber, and glass. So the Transcontinental Railroad is a railroad that went from one end of the country to the other end, revolutionized how we did everything because it became quicker to do. So we have had a description of it. We have read the impact of it. So what we're going to do is we come up here to our organizer and we say transportation. Okay. So here. So we would say something along the lines of the Transcontinental Railroad I don't want to say revolutionized the revolution, helped the Industrial Revolution progress because, that's not how you spell progress, there's too many E's in there. It connected the East Coast and West Coast. So there's our claim. That is our claim. How can we support that, and how can we say, how can we further this? We can say this railroad, how do we want to say this? Made travel and trade easier and quicker thereby making it simpler for industries to gather and move supplies and products. Okay, there is one claim. We would need to do that another time. Okay, so we would go back down here and we'd say, okay, let's check out maybe the canal system. We would read through this. Before the Transcontinental Railroad was fully built across the United States, the quickest mode of transportation was through steamships traveling the rivers of the United States. Canals helped connect lakes and rivers to large bodies of water and allowed for more transport of goods across longer distances at a faster rate. The Erie Canal was one of the earliest major canal projects. Canal system ensured that Americans far and wide could receive supplies, ship goods, and natural resources and trade. The canal, river, and lake systems were the first major highways of the United States, allowing the Industrial Revolution to get off the ground before the full expansion of the railroads. And so we could make another claim about transportation, about the canal systems and how the canal systems progressed the Industrial Revolution because they made travel easier before the railroad systems came in. They were the highway system before we got railroads. All right, so we would include, and this is, I'm just gonna say this very simply. See, two claims, just like that. And then I'll go and I will read the natural resources and I will read technology. All right. In all honesty, this is up to you guys. You guys, all you have to do is read through the information and then choose which two columns do I decide to use, and what two claims do I decide to make? Which ones do I think helped push the industrial revolution the most? We can talk really quickly about automobiles. The thing that really pushed automobiles is because Henry Ford created the first assembly line. So you had Eli Whitney, who created interchangeable parts and the cotton gin several years prior to this. And then you have Henry Ford and his use of interchangeable parts to create assembly lines. The assembly lines made it quicker to put things together. It gave everybody a specific job, and it made it super easy to get a large product mass produced. So that's going to lead to mass production of automobiles, but it's also going to be used in other manufacturers as well. So it's like the difference between if you sit down and make a hand-carved pencil and somebody in a factory making 100 pencils a day. You know, that's what revolutionizes it with the automobiles. Not to mention the fact that automobiles become just a huge benefit overall, at least for transportation. All right, technology, you have the incandescent light bulb, which is made by Edison in 1878. It means that businesses don't have to rely on just the daylight to stay open. They could work longer hours, longer shifts, which is great for the manufacturers, not always so great for the workers. And they could have better lighting for just general. So that's awesome. An electrical power distribution system. This is an electric power grid. It's developed in the 1880s, and the first one was in New York. They grew slowly over the following years and led to the development of more electrically powered machines. They provided energy for machines in industry and communities, such as electric streetcars, like trams. And they allowed for printing press, fans. Hallelujah, thank God for those. And additionally, electrical power meant the development of new machinery in factories that was capable of producing more goods for cheaper. Then you look at the telephone, created by Alexander Graham Bell. God, I don't know why that's there like that. In 1876, and it allows for new and efficient communication, which is going to push industry. It's also going to create jobs for women. So that's awesome. Natural resources is the one we talked about in class when we went over the Gilded Age stuff. Iron ore is going to be discovered. The U.S. is going to need it for building infrastructure. Let's see, okay. Could be processed into steel, which could be used in buildings, railroads, bridges, all of that. So iron ore is going to be huge, especially for the steel industry. It's going to actually be what puts Birmingham on the map because of Sloss furnace and the Bessemer steel process, which is going to come out of Birmingham. So that's why it's called the Iron City and all of that. Coal is going to be replace wood to fuel steam engines. So steam engine boats, steam engines like the trains, any kind of machinery that runs these large industries. A lot of them use coal. So that's going to be huge for the impact on the Industrial Revolution. Oil is going to be transformed into kerosene, which can be used for lighting lamps and later as fuel for automobiles. And then lumber, which is something that's been used throughout it, but it's going to be used for engines on trains, steamboats, and any other new machinery that ran on steam. Lumber was also used to build homes and other buildings during the rapid expansion of the United States during the Gilded Age. So that's this graphic organizer, okay? I'm going to leave this up for just a second so you guys can pause on that. All you have to do, and all you have to do is just do those two. Maybe it's not letting me drag my screen back up. All right, I'm just going to stop the share now. All you have to do is make those two claims for each of those three topics and then go from there. That is something you have to turn in. You turn it in to that Tuesday folder. The cause and effect one is a lot simpler. All you have to do is is go through and read the scenario, say, is it cause, is it effect, and is it a political cause or effect, an economic cause or effect, or an industrial cause or effect. And we talked about that when we went over the assignment. So that is everything for you guys. Do make sure you do those two assignments. We will most likely be doing immigration on Thursday. Unless we end up going back over what your Flipgrid is going to be on, which is the labor movement stuff. So we'll play that by ear and see where we go. We might end up just doing labor movement and doing immigration next week. We'll see. But that I'll open your Thursday folder as soon as we decide on that. You still have to do your Flipgrid video. You still have to turn that in. I realize that a lot of this is more on you guys. You're taking your learning into your own hands, but I absolutely abhor sitting and talking and going through a PowerPoint over and over and over with you guys. I mean, we'll do some PowerPoints, yeah, but I can't stand them. I would much rather put the information in y'all's hands and let y'all go forth with it. We will be having a quiz. You guys do not have a quiz this week. My other classes do. You guys will most likely have a quiz when the week that we come back. And I'll let you guys know for sure on all of that. It'll probably be a pretty decent test. And that way you will have that first assessment grade, which will be amazing. And I will also be able to, if we don't have a test, then it's going to be a project and you're going to bring all of this together. So we'll see what happens with that. But do expect some kind of assessment on that week that we come back, be it a project or a test. And you guys will be using all of the information that we're gathering right now to do that assessment. All right. So that is everything for me. If you guys have questions, please let me know. And other than that, y'all have a great day. I'll see y'all on Thursday.